questions currently in Denver sports.
The big tunas.
Mm-hmm. And the wrong answer could close a title window or at least impact a title window.
My heart just dropped right there. It could the wrong answer, the wrong move.
Yes.
Or not making a move at all can end up ending a situation to hold up another championship trophy.
Yeah.
For either team.
Or at least impact it in a really, really meaningful way. All right. And we don't know the future, so we don't know how impactful. But the question is, what is a bigger riddle that needs solving? Jamal Murray and his importance to the Nuggets' title chances, or the lack of goaltending to the Colorado Avalanche title chances? I believe those are the two biggest questions in Denver sports right now. Not that there's not other questions. I just don't know if there's two or if there's another bigger than each of those two.
Well, let me tell you this. Both of those issues are two very big issues that could stop either team from making it past the first round. I'm not even talking about a championship, Zach.
It's true, Phil.
I'm talking about the first round of the playoffs, whether it's the NBA or the NHL. You could be out of the playoffs the first round if we do not get any, both these issues, because both of them are going to have to be addressed.
Yes.
Now, which one's more important to the team? I'm going to have to go with the Jamal Murray situation going on. If Jamal Murray does not get his act together, the Nuggets will not get past the first round of the playoffs this year. Jokic is playing way too many minutes. He's almost averaging 40 minutes a game.
It's true.
That's insane. Jokic is having to shoot three-pointers at a high level. That's not sustainable. All right? On top of that, you have a weaker bench. You don't have the depth that you had when you did win the championship with the Denver Nuggets.
It's true.
All right, Aaron Gordon's coming along, but he was injured. Now you're trying to figure out if he can get back to the regular Aaron Gordon. Christian Brown, he's in a new role for himself. Now he's doing a great job, but he's still in a new role.
Yep.
So there's so much going on, and the biggest question is, where's Jamal Murray? Where's Jamal Murray in all of this? If Jamal Murray was putting up the stats, shooting like he knows he can, or because that's why we're paying him a lot of money, because he's able to generate points, or at least that's what we think.
Yes.
He's not doing that right now. And so now it's like all we're worried about or we're focused on is, can Jokic help us win games at the end of the game?
But I'll use the phrase I used yesterday. It's an unhealthy reliance. It's an unhealthy and imbalanced reliance. And the Nuggets, as a franchise and this fan base and us, we're just lucky that he's that good enough to answer the bell on the regular basis that he is. But if Jamal Murray can regain his form, all right, and the longer we go down this road when we don't see it, the bigger that question actually is. And we're pretty far down the road as it is anyway, considering how the playoffs went last year, how the summer went, and how it's gone so far this year. The sample size is growing, and the doubt is growing with it. But if Jamal Murray can find a way to regain his former form, this team can go win an NBA title, because they have the most important thing. The most important part of the equation is Jokic. And having the best player in the world has been a tale as old as time. In that league, the best players win multiple championships. The legends win multiple championships. There is no player that is in the greatest of all conversation that doesn't have, typically it's like 3 titles.
Yeah.
4 titles. Kobe, LeBron, Michael, Bill Russell, it goes the whole Duncan, the whole history of the league. So if Jamal can figure this out, man, they can win another championship. I want to see it. I want to see it, and we're not seeing it. It's deeply concerning.
And so that's why I would have to go with the Denver Nuggets. And then for the Avs, right, because it's an issue, guys. All right, not having a goalie, that's a big-time issue. But the firepower that the Avs have, Nathan McKinnon, Mikko, Kale, the depth with Val coming back. Hopefully Val can start to generate some plays for himself on the offense. Casey Middlestat has been a great addition. I know he's kind of been MIA, but he's a great addition. Ross Colton, when he's healthy, that's a great addition. I think that the Avs have more depth than the Denver Nuggets, and they were able to do it already without a goalie. Now, I know that's not sustainable, and we talked about it, but it has been done. Now, with the Denver Nuggets, we won a championship when Jamal was at his best.
Yep.
And when he's not we get bounced out of the second round.
Yeah.
So that right there tells you everything you need to know about Jamal. If Jamal is at his best, we do have a chance to win another title. But when Jamal Murray is not at his best, we probably are going to get bounced out the first or second round yet again.
And to think that you are, it's just a birthright to make it out of the first round. I mean, the season is still young, but it's also not brand new. Talking about the NBA season, and I guess it's true for both clubs. But right now, if the playoffs started, and I know they don't start today, but if they did, the Nuggets are in the play-in. And we've seen this group lose in the second round, and we've seen the Avs lose in the first round. So what is more pressing to ultimately answer the question? Do you think it's Jamal?
Oh, it's Jamal. It's Jamal. Come on, we've been talking about Jamal for 2 years now. We have been talking about Jamal and like what he looks like, and can he turn his life over to the game of basketball? Can he help Jokic get that second ring? Can he be the Batman or the Robin to Jokic's Batman? And right now, Jamal isn't showing us that he can do that this year.
No.
Now it's in him. He can do it. But will he?
I don't see. This is the doubt that's creeping in my head.
Oh, so what's the doubt? Because I just said he can do it, and you're like, well, let's see. Can he not?
Well, I just watched him try his hardest in the playoffs, and he was a shell of himself.
Well,
worst true shooting percentage by any player that attempts 20 shots or more in 50 years. Like the season was hanging on the balance, and granted, he hit those shots against the Lakers, and it sort of serves as a bit of a mascara of what it was on a possession-by-possession, night-to-night basis. And those moments were awesome, and we were in here like going crazy, and it was great. But when you consider that you waited for 2 years for him to get healthy, he was the best version of himself, and you won the championship. The next year, he looks like closer to the worst version of himself in the playoffs.
And he got hurt. He
got hurt. Yep. But that's Jamal's story.
It is.
Right? It's like he is like there's so much. Is he healthy now? We don't even know. He played for Team Canada. Calvin Booth said he had a significant injury. We still don't know what that significant injury was. So it's just there are so many questions. And like I said.
So when are you hitting the panic button then, Zach? Because to me, it sounds like you're hitting the panic button on Jamal.
I'm not. Am I? I'm so concerned about the lack of maximizing Nikola Jokic's window that I am starting to like inch up to being panicked about this team's future. You just signed this guy to a max deal that hasn't even kicked in yet, and I said this to you a few months ago about the Avs. My deepest fear with the Avs is that we'll get to near the end of this title window, and we'll be asking the question, how many cups should the Avs have won if they had upper echelon goaltending?
Yeah.
And my fear with the Nuggets is we get closer to the end of this road. And guys, Jokic he's entering his 30s. Now I think his game will age beautifully because it's
he'll
not
have
predicated.
5 or 6 or 7 more years.
Yeah.
To play.
Yep. But it's one of these things where it's like, we don't know. I'll tell you what the most taken for granted thing in Denver sports is Jokic's health. It's Jokic's health.
I know. The man is superhuman. The man is superhuman, but yes, we could take that for granted because if something does happen to Jokic and he does get banged up, knock on your head, Zach, we don't want that to happen. We're SOL.
Yes, correct.
You know I want to say it, but we're SOL.
Correct. And the problem is you're SOL when he's not even on the floor and he is healthy. You gave the stats the other night. They got outscored by 19 points in 8 minutes when he was out of the game.
That's insane. To me, till this day, I was in my bed and I was thinking about that. I know it's weird, but I was like, this man sat on the bench for 8 minutes. All right. And the team gave up 19 points. Now, when he's in the game, they're dominating.
Plus 23.
His presence.
Plus 23.
Plus 23 when my man's in the game.
And and this season, when he's in the game, the Denver Nuggets have the best offensive rating in NBA history. And when he's out of the game, the Nuggets have the worst offensive rating in NBA history. You can't make that up. So that's why it's like incumbent upon someone like Jamal, because when Jamal is the true second best player, everyone else can get slotted back to where they naturally are. Like Michael Porter Jr. is a great fourth or fifth option on a title team, not second or third. Same with Aaron Gordon. He's not a second option. He's more like a third or a fourth. given night tonight. But
so tonight's the night for Jamal. Then he's going against a good Cavaliers team,
really
very
good Cavaliers
talented,
team.
with a 19-3.
19-3, best record in the NBA.
He's going to have his hands full.
No doubt. Donovan Mitchell and what we were talking about in the crosstalk, like their guys are going right at Jamal. They're going right at him.
And that's disrespectful. Jamal should take it personal.
For sure.
It's very disrespectful because now you're saying you're isolating me out and saying, hey, you're the weakest link.
Yep.
What are you going to do about it?
Right.
Man, come on, Jamal.
But
pride. You got to have some kind of pride at some point.
Yeah. But here's my fear, dude, is that he's trying his hardest and still can't get it done. That was like one of the takeaways from the Warriors game. He is not just walking through the park. He is trying. And you could argue that that's worse than trying to be too cool for school and be like, the max effort's going to come. I'm playing myself into shape.
Well, tell me this. How is 1 year when you're finally healthy, you're having a great year, you're getting this separation, but then the next year you can't get any separation? Like, how is that when you're 27 years old? Now, I do understand that you have injuries and as you get older, you're not going to be the same, but 1 year later?
Right. Dude, and that's the questions about his body. Like, that's where it comes in because he doesn't look like he's 27. That's why he did that baseline dunk the other night against the Warriors. It was like, whoa.
Where's that been?
Yeah, right. So, like, you see a flash of it, but, I mean, you should not be averaging 1 point more than Christian Brown is, who's in his first year in a starting role. But the Avalanche goaltending situation, it's like you could make an argument that that's more pressing because at least you've seen Jamal rise to the occasion. With the goaltending situation, we haven't seen it. We've seen the team overcome it, but that person's no longer here. And it's like, is there a human being that can competently play that role?
But when we won the Cup, all right, we had average goaltending.
Below average.
Below average.
Yeah, but by the numbers, yeah.
And so if you take that in consideration, that's how they're thinking is like we have some of the top players in the world at their position. If we can get some kind of rhythm going and we can outscore teams, then we can win these games. We can be in shootouts and win these games. And I know it's not sustainable when we talk about
that's
it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why they brought in my man Wedgwood.
Yeah. I mean, but the fact that he's starting tonight. No, he did. And the fact that they're like, all right, let's see if he can do it again. Like, immediately. That tells you what you need to know about where Georgiev is standing within that organization. So neither are good, but
who are you taking?
Ultimately, I will say the Avalanche goaltending situation is a deeper concern than the Jamal Murray situation. It's close. There's a reason we're having the conversation. But I think that it's a deeper concern because at least with Jamal, I can draw from actually watching him do it.
Well, what can you draw from Jamal though, Zach? Because when I said it, you were like But what can you draw from? Because I said, hey, we've seen him do it before, and you're like, have we in a while? Like, what are you drawing from? 2 years ago?
Yeah, pretty much.
Man.
And with the Avalanche goaltending situation, this is you can't outscore that kind of problem. You can't outscore that kind of problem.
Yeah.
And I don't think this current team is as good as the team that won the Stanley Cup. I don't think that they don't have the same depth. So you don't have the same depth, and the goaltending situation is significantly worse.
But I will say this: the Avs have more depth than the Denver Nuggets. I mean, Zach, Malone is rolling out there every night with 8 players.
It's true.
Golden State almost had 12 players going to that game. I think they had 10 that played. So they had 5 coming off the bench and the 5 starters. Malone's rolling with 8 players, 5 starters and 3 off the bench. And if those bench players, Russell Westbrook, all right, Zeke Naji was in there against Golden State.
He was.
That was a fast ball for us. Julian Strother, who you said out of your own mouth may not play in the playoffs this year.
I know. I said that to you on Monday.
Yes.
Man, I'm watching him, and I just know Michael Malone. And I'm like, this dude.
Michael's not going to have a chance or choice, though. Michael Malone's going to have to play Julian Strother.
He's not going to. Phil.
Who are they going to play?
Unless something changes. They'll play 7 guys. And they'll tire themselves out and probably get bounced out in the second round again.
Guys?
Dude, I'm telling you, look, when Julian Strother takes the floor, every single night when he's squeaking his sneakers, he is the worst defensive player from either team.
He's like kamikaze. Like, he's just all over the place. Like, he's going 100 miles an hour. The hair is blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to get a rebound. It's hitting off his kneecaps. Like, I understand it's sporadic.
Yeah, and he's not good enough right now on offense to overcome who he is on the other end of the floor.
And he's not. He's not shooting at a high level like I expected him to, too. And he started strong.
Same, yeah.
But you're going to go into the playoffs yet again with seven guys? Come on, Zach.
Look, it's not sustainable. This is why it's a deep concern.
It's more concerned. The Nuggets, yeah, the Nuggets are a more concern. It's more concerning with the Nuggets than with the Avs.
It's close. It's close. I think the Avs goaltending situation is a bit more dire.
Goaltending situation is bad.
It really is. It's the worst. They have the worst goaltending situation in the entire sport. And you're expected to try to go win a cup. And then here's the other tiebreaker thing why I think if you look at who each player is in their own respective sport, I think Jokic has the highest standing of anyone in the conversation, even over McKinnon.
Yeah.
And the game of basketball lends itself to you're not doing shifts every 90 seconds and playing 3 and 4 lines like Jokic is going to.
So 45 minutes for Jokic. Got it.
I'm telling you.
Got it.
And that's who he's going to be in the playoffs. And he just might be good enough. He just might be great enough to somehow figure out a way to overcome it. And I don't have the same faith in, honestly, and the Avs have great players, but that problem is just you can't outscore it.
All right, so tell me this. Nathan McKinnon starts to heat up. Mikko starts to heat up. Kel starts to heat up. Oh, and Val gets out of his head and starts to heat up. You don't think we have a better chance to win with just the players I just listed?
It's close. It's close. It really is close.
Like Val alone could change the game.
But we haven't seen Val, right? We haven't seen, and McKinnon just scored a goal for the first time in 10 games. You're not seeing Jokic have off weeks. You're not even seeing him having off nights.
But that's what I'm fearing. At some point, he might have an off night. And when he does, can Jamal rise to the occasion? Can Jamal be the man that we need him to be? Or is it just like everybody pack up? Jokic isn't feeling good. My man has a fever tonight, so we're just going to forfeit the game because that's what it looks like.
If Jokic can't go, they have no. Well, you know what? I don't think they have a shot without Jamal. It doesn't. You could already make an argument that the Denver Nuggets have the arguably. All right, and I don't want to get carried away and be disrespectful. But typically, the second best player on a championship team is a Hall of Famer. Jamal's not even an all-star. So, like, you can make an argument that the Nuggets won a championship with one of the worst second best players on a title team in modern NBA history. You can make that argument.
Zach, you're a betting man. You love to bet. If you had an opportunity right now in front of you, it says, who has the greater odds to win a championship? The Avalanche or the Denver Nuggets this year? Who are you putting money on?
Denver Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets.
And I'll bet on Nikola Jokic, the greatest player in the world. You can't outscore the problem that the Avs have. They need to find a resolution for it.
This is a team game, Zach.
It is.
I know Jokic is the greatest player in the world.
Only 5 can play at once. Nathan McKinnon plays about 22 to 23 minutes a night.
But all it takes is for Nathan McKinnon to get on a heater. And you said it yourself. All right, words coming out of Zach Bye's mouth. Goals come in bunches.
Sure. For sure.
So if Nate Dogg decides to go off and has 3 goals or a hat trick,
and he will, and we just saw it the other night, right?
You can win that game. Now, if Jokic, if they put all 4 guys on Jokic, like, is Jokic winning that battle?
Let's, Drew, you've been eavesdropping on this conversation. Phil and I disagree. Where do you fall on the question here? What is a more larger looming question that could impact a title window more? The Avalanche goaltending situation or the Jamal Murray situation?
To me, it's very easily Jamal Murray, and here's why. If the Avalanche just got average goaltending from Alexander Georgiev, they can win a Stanley Cup.
We've seen that.
Yes, just average goaltending. We're talking if he had like a .904 save percentage.
Yes.
The Avs can win a Stanley Cup with this roster. If you're just getting average play from Jamal Murray, that's not good enough for the Nuggets to win a title. It's just not. even if Jokic is superhuman and, he carries his team triple-doubles every single night,
Yeah.
the Nuggets aren't winning a title with an average Jamal Murray. He's got to be, above average. He's got to score, 20 points a game for the Nuggets to win a title.
Which is such a reasonable ask.
It totally
For
is.
a max player,
Yes.
It should be.
Yes.
$208 million.
How many guys
Score 20 points.
How many guys in the NBA do you think score 20 a game? Because I would venture to say there's got to be more than 20 of them. All right.
I would bet 25.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 27 or
I think
28.
it might be even more. It might be even more. Let's take a look. Got it. I have it. I have the number. Guess how many players in the NBA average 20 points or more? Just guess, Drew.
I'll raise it. I'll go 35.
Drew, you went from 25 to 35.
Well, based on Zach's reaction, the way he's like, God, he has.
I'm going to go 30 on the dot. 30 on the dot.
There are more than 40 players who currently average over 20 points a game.
40?
There are 41 players who average 20 points or more a game. All right? We should not be talking about
This is bad, man.
Dennis Schroeder or Grady Dick scoring more points a game than Jamal Murray, making hundreds of millions of dollars. It's a real issue. There's a reason we're having this conversation.
$208 million. And I know the contract hasn't kicked in for Jamal Murray, but that's why we paid him the money, because we know he's going to be playing at a high level for a very long time. My man's not even hitting 20 points a game.
Wild.
This is wild.
It is.
All right, Drew. So who are you betting on? Who has a better chance to win the championship, right? Win a cup or win another title? Nuggets or the Avs?
This year or
This
the
year.
next?
This year.
I actually would probably go the Avs. Just because if somehow, some way we do get – I've seen Alexander Georgiev be average.
Yeah.
We witnessed this, Zach. We were at the game, the playoff game with Georgiev. And we're like chanting Connor's name.
Yeah, Connor Hellebuck.
Hellebuck was awful.
Yep.
So Georgiev has done it before.
Yes. But so is Jamal.
But
that's what makes the conversation a conversation.
Totally. But I'm more concerned about what I've seen from Jamal than what I've seen from Georgiev.
How could you be what? Georgiev, he's been the worst in the sport.
He has, but here, and I know this is going to sound totally insane, but you never know. What if Scott Wedgwood could come in here and be average?
You have a 7-year sample size of who he is.
I agree. But he also hasn't played in front of a team like the Avalanche either.
Wedgwood is picking his game up. All right, when you're with the MVP,
you've seen him for 42 minutes.
22 saves. My man stood on his head.
Brother, I watched American basketball assemble a top 3 team that's ever been created, and Nikola Jokic and non-NBA players were in that game this summer. Give me Jokic or give me death.
Oh.
Give me Jokic or give me death. All right, fun conversation. You want to react to it? RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. All right.